welcome to the dressing room without Arabiya news. Bridgie, you all right, geezer?
I'm good, mate. I'm good.
Before we introduce...
Mate, I've not been up to a lot. You've been up to a lot. The only thing that stands out for me is Rubik's Cube.
Rubik's Cube?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
I've never done one before. And the other day I come home and Carlton was struggling.
Yeah.
And he was like, can you help me out with this? You know what I'm like? Once I get given a challenge, mate, 3 hours. So in the end, I'm on the internet getting some tips.
Yeah.
So I'm getting somewhere.
Right.
Mate, after 3 hours, I'm like, something came right with this cube.
Right.
I'm like, did you put this cube together or did it come like this? Because it's not working out. Yeah. Something's not right. And he's like, nah, it just came like that. About half hour later, I'm like, Frank, did it definitely come like this? He went, oh, well, he did drop it and a couple of pieces fell off. I went, well, you put them in the wrong place. So I spent 3.5 hours, mate. It was doing me head in. I was getting really like, because I'm sure I'm doing everything right here. And then I realised the two pieces he had mixed up.
Yeah.
And then I switched them over and then I done it in like half hour. But like that.
You need to know when to like just knock something on the head, didn't you?
No, I couldn't, mate. It was doing me head in. Once I started, it was just. Yeah. But other than that, mate, not a lot going on. Kids are on holiday at the moment. You've been in Miami.
I have, yeah. We've had a great time.
At Barbados.
Yeah, cricket tour with the little fella in Barbados. He got his first wicket, so that was good. But the FA Cup, doing that in Miami was a good gig. I'm not going to lie.
That's a great holiday.
Good. It was a good. No, the guys looked after me. They had me throwing the because they're trying to sell the FA Cup to America. So I've gone out there. I ended up doing the first pitch at the Marlins. So I've done that. That was good.
I've seen you pitch
alligator.
There.
I was in the alligator pen.
I see that.
Yeah.
And skateboarding.
Yeah, skateboarding. Yeah, it's a proper.
How close to the alligators did you get?
Mate, close enough. What it was, right? I've gone in there. You know, like you agree to these things. You go, okay, we'll do this for the FA Cup. FA Cup's in the pen. There's alligators everywhere, and I've seen this on like there's just too much going on, geez. And there was one to my right, and he just kept looking at me. So I'm in there, and the guy's going, smile, we'll take the picture with the FA Cup. But this one just kept looking at me over there, and I was like, oh, I can't. I had to knit it. It was wild, yeah. But it was good, mate. I survived, and we're back here.
By the way, we haven't even introduced who's on with us today.
I know.
Mate, I'm
He's
enjoying
back
this.
again.
Jeez.
He's back again, isn't
I'm
he?
enjoying this like Goggle Box. It's like watching Goggle Box dishes. Just like get me some popcorn and I'm all right. I'm away. You lot crack on. You
might even introduced him.
Bonfire.
Carlton's not turned up, basically.
Yeah.
Been sick.
But that's the best excuse ever, wasn't it? Have you heard it? He was away somewhere and he said that there's a tornado.
Yeah.
But
and he knew he was going to get a bit, didn't he? So he's then put a photo of the letter from Virgin. Who sends a letter these days? You get a text or something.
True.
So he said that there's a letter he took a photo of from Virgin saying the flight's cancelled because of a lightning strike or something.
Yeah, tornado we threw in. But it was great to have you.
He's missed his flight, and that's what he's done.
Yeah,
he's had a good night.
so.
He's missed
Did
his
you hear
flight.
about him the other day?
No.
He's on the way to the airport.
Oh, no.
And then he calls me 2 hours later. He goes, guess what? And I knew straight away, when you've got your passport, he went, yeah. So he had to go back home.
He ain't the first one that's done that round his table, is he?
Yeah, it's been a few. There's been a few. Yeah, it's been a few. Sis, it's great to have you here.
Like, always a pleasure being.
You've had what's his third appearance?
Second
appearance, yeah. Always good, mate. Always good to come and join the boys.
Always good, mate. And what have you been up to lately?
Lately, mate, I have been sort of prep for the London Marathon. Really, life's been on hold. I didn't realise how much prep goes into the marathon. You know.
Yeah.
Like, I know there was a lot of training.
Because your back was really bad. Remember 2-3
Yeah.
years ago?
Yeah.
He was like, I can't run now.
Yeah, that was it, mate. I only started running literally last year. Last year, we watched the marathon, and I was like, I'm gonna do this next year. And I promise you, last April, I'd done a 1K run, treadmill, and I was like, that felt all right. Because before that, the last 5 and 6 years, I've been cycling. And then done a 5K, another 5K, then done a 10K, then done a run outside. And I was like, I'm going to do this. Like last October, I was like, I'm going to do this. And then, so training, mate, it's been brutal, I've got to say. Like the cold months, not nice.
Yeah.
Not nice. It's coming around 3 weeks now. So got a slight tweak in the calf.
Yeah.
But we should be all right.
Should be right.
We should be good for it.
Yeah.
So yeah, all the prep and that. I've not really been up to a lot.
He watches the marathon, goes, oh, I think I want to do that. Most people watch it and go, I ain't doing that.
No, you'd love it.
I know,
Love it. It's a good day.
I've had an injection in my knee a few weeks ago, which hopefully takes like 6 weeks to work. A new injection, which is supposed to like help with the joint pain.
What type of things?
It's called hydro something.
Yeah.
But it kind of puts because obviously my meniscus has gone on one side, so I'm bone on bone again. But it's supposed to put like protection around the bones. Supposed to give you like 4 or 5 years of good.
Because I thought you was like near on certain surgery for you.
Yeah, so they're trying this.
Oh, wow.
I'm having it in one knee, and then if it works, I'll have it in the other knee, and then I'll be back playing.
There we go, London Marathon in a couple of years.
No chance. I saw him at the station the other day. I've gone to the taxi driver, was chatting to me. He knew I was, and he's like, I'm going to meet Wayne Bridge, and we're trying to find him, but he's 100 yards away. He's over there, mate. Just drive up. And the way he was walking like that, like limping like that, he went, sure, that's Wayne.
No, well, the taxi driver said
It's like a waddle, wasn't it?
Yeah, he is, mate. He's had bad knees.
Yeah.
But Sid, great to have you anyway.
Yeah.
Right. So Liverpool, like, what do you make of them? Is it?
Well, they've won the league. They've won the league at a canter, haven't they? Let's be honest.
Yeah.
I don't think no one's really come close to them. Going out to PSG was a bit of a shock, I think, really, for them, the way that they was.
To this man.
Yeah.
No, you did Google it, didn't you? I mean, for them, as a them, I know PSG were on it, but I think inside the dressing room, the way that they was, the form that they was on and stuff. Then they got dispatched out the cup, didn't they, as well? Lost to Newcastle. And then, a little loss to Fulham as well on the weekend. I mean, it's not our place to go, Fulham. When they're on it, you know. And
they're doing all right as well,
they are doing all right, chasing for European places, which I'm sure we'll come on for. But I think in this league, you drop your standards a little bit, you get found out. If the other team's at it, it doesn't matter where you're at. Yeah,
it's true. It's true. I mean, and Van Dijk had I think Michael Owen asked him a question, didn't he? It was on one of the broadcasts, and it affected him a little bit. What he was a little bit. It's about the narrative about Liverpool. I think they've had a brilliant season, no matter what.
Yeah.
If he does it.
Yeah.
And arguably, Arne Slot's, if he wins the league with this Liverpool team, that's as good as a debut season, I think, to a manager. What do you think?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I've been getting pelters because like you got to do a little prediction at the beginning of the season. I had them outside the top 4.
No way.
I did. Right. The only reason with it being was the Klopp effect. Him going, the new one coming in, then the big 3, not signing their contracts, a bit loud, not just going to see what their options were. And I thought, do you know what? That could ruffle.
Could have gone wrong.
Yeah, it could ruffle a few feathers. So I'm getting absolute pelters now, especially online, on socials, man. I'm getting abused.
Yeah, the Liverpool fans, when you don't back their team, they do go a bit mad, don't they?
Yeah. But hold my hand up, like you. Listen, that's unreal. What he's done this open season has been. It's class.
Yeah.
Very, very good. Yeah.
Talk about like Van Dijk. I think Michael Owen asked him I don't know if it was a bad question, it was a good question. He was like, will it still be a good season? And have you ever remember a player having a nibble in the media? Like because it's like, that's really hard in our job, isn't it? You know when you got to speak to the players after a game, you're like, what can you ask them? It's got to be a good question.
Yeah. I see the question.
Yeah.
And do you know what I think it is as well? I think like Van Dijk said something like, look, doesn't matter you win it. Like, if you win it, it's still an amazing achievement, isn't it? Like, basically, that's what he was kind of saying, which is true, isn't it? It doesn't matter how you get over the finish line. But yeah, when you get interviewed after a game, I mean, I think there's been times where I've tried to have a go back, but you pull yourself back and you go, no, just keep calm. But there's nothing better than seeing someone have a go there. It's like when someone loses it and they go back.
The famous one was Keegan, wasn't it?
Kevin Keegan, that was brilliant.
Yeah.
There should be more of that, though, should there?
Was it?
It's entertaining, isn't it?
It's great. Well, there was more. It seemed to be more back in the day when that era. They're a little bit more measured. Like you rarely see them losing their plot. Like we'll get onto it now. Which I at Big Ange. Did you see Big Ange as well?
Yeah.
With the
the reporter. Yeah.
What?
I just feel for him. You can just Big Ange.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
like to get pelters as well.
He's just.
Yeah.
You can imagine if you were getting interviewed in that, you'd just be, oh mate, how would you deal with that? Your head's gone.
You'd be good. You'd be good at dealing with that as a manager.
But I think,
because you're very measured.
yeah, I don't know.
I don't know about me and
I just don't think I'll bother going out. I just won't bother doing
I'm
the
not
interview.
sure. It's got to be the hardest interview to do after a game.
Yeah.
For a manager,
You-
that if you've
yeah.
won or lost.
hard enough when you're a captain to do it as well, isn't it? As
Yeah.
a player.
When you're a manager, yeah, because they're
And I-
coming for you.
The reporters are doing their job, but it's like they just probe, don't they?
Yeah.
I know they can go, we're just doing our job,
Yeah.
but it's like
But
they must feel awkward sometimes.
yeah, they're all loaded
Right.
questions. You know, they're trying to get a headline. All these lot.
Yeah.
But I think the modern day player, I don't think they're there. Like I think when we was playing, I don't want to be all that dinosaur but I think we was much more. It was a matter of life and death, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Really?
yeah.
Like if it actually meant the well. I think the modern day player now can after a game just go, not that they're too fussed on it, but if a question comes, they're not gonna. They just bait it away and just go, yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas
Yeah.
I think being our age, or the managers, they're the ones that get caught now to go. No, I'm
Yeah.
not sure about that.
And they've all got like press people with them as well. Do you know what I mean, Mark?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just think as well. I think that's a feature of modern football. Now I think when we played, I think we was a little bit more. It was more confrontational. Wasn't it? Like, I remember, like you wouldn't speak to someone, but do you think with the social media, Sids? I think players are a little bit more. They're a little bit more mixed. It's just a nicer way about them, isn't it?
Of course
now?
it is. Yeah,
Yeah.
look at them before games. Like before games, before a Man United game, you lot would never speak
Yeah.
to the opposition in the tunnel.
just wouldn't happen.
Not the. I mean, there was obviously that's when we was obviously rivals
Yeah.
and such, but didn't matter who it was. Whereas now, they're shaking hands, they're giving each
Yeah.
other cuddles. It's like they might as well swap a shirt before the game.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? And then, whereas before it was down the tunnel, that was it. Even after the game, you shake hands, you might say one or two words, and that was it, really, wasn't
Yeah.
it?
It's mad. It's mad how it's changed. But quickly go. Anyway, I think. Sorry,
It's mad that you have to do an interview after the game, though. I think because I think if I was the manager
Yeah.
and I've lost and my head's gone, I'd just go, "No, my head's gone." Sod that.
Look,
Or just
send
go
it
on and say what you
Yeah.
really think. Do you know what I mean? Just don't.
Yeah, but they got to be so careful now because they're not just managing football clubs and the play. Like the clubs are now seen as brands, so they got to choose their words for like the sort of the media side of it as well. Whereas probably Jose would just say of what he wanted to say and it will cause uproar. I think nowadays when they go and speak, they've got to be careful of what their big bosses are with it. Do you know what I mean? I wouldn't be. Listen, I think Big Ange is in trouble, and there was big protests as well at Tottenham about Daniel Levy. Do you see him, Sids?
No.
Yeah,
Big, yeah. I mean, we've had a conversation on here before.
all the time.
Yeah, Bridgie's always digging them out. Spurs. God. No, but they seem to like. I think it's the end of the road for Levy now. Like the fans are like,
Yeah.
we don't care about the manager changing whether they stick with Ange or go someone else next year. I think the fans are like, mate, it's the whole way the club's set up, isn't it? And they look like they lost the plot.
Like,
Change
talk about, I just can't see him ever going because they talked about
Yeah.
it for years. You know,
Well,
ex-players talk about him loads. I just can't see him. He's always going to be there.
I don't know. I think there could be a change. Not necessarily now. Maybe in the next season, possibly another
Where does that
18
come
months'
from?
time.
Would that come from the owner just going, we need, it's too toxic. I need someone who's the front man.
It's got at the end of the day, it'd be a business decision.
Yeah.
Because you look where Spurs are now, stadium-wise, training ground-wise, squad's not good enough to compete for titles certainly. But there's got like in terms of where it's valued and what they can get for it, they've got to start looking at that. Sure.
Yeah.
Surely, but I think there will be changes. But listen, we could talk about this all day. But I think, especially with Spurs, it's a mentality thing.
Yeah.
All the managers can't be wrong. I know we've gone into this before. Mourinho, Conte, they can't
Yeah.
all
They've
be wrong.
Conte and Mourinho definitely had there was confrontation there, wasn't it?
Like, there was winners, weren't they? They've won titles and competitions. They can't all be wrong. Them lads.
Yeah, that's true, to be fair. But listen, they're not in the top four race, Spurs. But like, look at this. It's opened up at the weekend, isn't it? With all them results. Fulham getting a great result, Sids.
Yeah.
We're the top four. Where do you fancy? What? Because it's down to 5, right? Really, Champions League football
Champions
is now
League
5.
5.
So
I think it's so hard to call.
yeah,
What we got?
The way the league is, sometimes I just feel like anyone can slip up.
yeah.
I think it's so hard to call.
I watched the Chelsea. Sorry,
Newcastle obviously got games in hand.
Yeah. Which do you want games in hand? You're rather points on the board, obviously.
What are they? 2 or 3 behind Chelsea?
And they've
two
got
games.
two
in hand.
games.
You know they're going to nick a win. What they got?
They're
Their
three
games in
behind.
hand. They've got.
They've got a good run as well. They've got a good run.
They've got to play Chelsea. They've got to play Villa. They've got to play Brighton.
Yeah.
And they've got to play Arsenal. But they've got Ipswich, Man U, Palace, and Everton.
Yeah, so there's enough to get points on the board.
But they're all playing. They're all kind of playing each other. Like
momentum as well. Winning the Newcastle, winning the trophy. We'll have to talk about that because that was incredible scenes. When it like 300,000. When you think about what a League Cup means to a club, for that club it was a feel, and it looks so good, didn't it? And you just like that momentum there, where they've already climbed the top of their mountain. I think that makes them favourite to nick the 4th place. You know, I think they could kick on Newcastle.
Yeah.
I fancy him just because of the games in hand as well.
Yeah, I don't know. Games in hand scare me. They scare me. Like, so look, we got Liverpool obviously done it.
Yeah.
Arsenal a second. Forest, right, still third. Right, still cleaner. They've had a bit of a dip, like the second half of the season compared to the first half, but they're still flying. Then you got Chelsea, Man City, Villa, Newcastle down to 7th. Fulham are in 8th and Brighton are in 9th. I know they're only a couple of points away from Newcastle, but I don't see Fulham and Brighton challenging because I don't think they've got the experience or the longevity as the other clubs have in previous seasons. Yeah,
that's a good shout.
Whereas I think Newcastle, Villa, you know, they could easily make a claim to get. Who are just out. They're 6th and 7th. They could easily make a claim to get in. But then you look at like the ones that are going to drop out. Like for Chelsea, I see that today. Chelsea haven't.
They've got Liverpool, Newcastle, and Forest.
I worry for Chelsea.
Chelsea haven't finished in the top 4 for the last 3 seasons.
It's bad, isn't it? It's bad, and you think how much money's gone in to the club. I think the club haven't come out and said that Champions League football's a must. But I think, if you look at the amount of money that's been spent, if you don't bridge, you get your 50, 100 million, whatever it is. How are Chelsea then going to go again to try and get? I think missing out this year could be painful for the club. And I worry because I watched the game against Brentford, and it was. I thought Brentford would have more.
Had some chances.
They look like they're going to score.
Yeah.
Chelsea were just too open, and they need to sort it out in the running.
Yeah,
because the back 4 of every Brentford, like Mbeumo and Vissa, were just causing carnage.
Keeper as well at Chelsea. That's a big dilemma.
Yeah.
So what we're going to say then? Let's have a little prediction. Top 4. Liverpool number 1. So let's go top 5. Yeah. So Liverpool have obviously won it.
Yeah. Liverpool won. Yeah.
No one's catching them, are they?
No.
So let's go second. We're saying Arsenal. Are they going to?
I'm going to say Arsenal second.
Okay. So then we've got, for 3 positions, we've got out of Forest, Chelsea, Man City, let's say Villa, Newcastle.
Geez. Right.
Do you think Forest stay in there?
Yeah, I do.
I think Forest stay in there.
Yeah.
Oh, you said points on the board, mate.
Yeah. All right.
They've got the points on the board, and you can't.
Forest will get in there.
Right. Yeah, but why do you think? I
think Forest do it. I think the way they do it because, and we've all been in these dressing rooms, right?
Yeah.
Where they're riding the wave.
Yeah.
They are riding the wave, aren't they? Where, you can see all the videos that are coming out after games of them all like having a laugh and a joke, all the little TikToks and stuff like. When you've got a dressing room like that, it's powerful, isn't it?
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah.
They got to get Chris Wood back fit because I think he's missed the last couple of games. But I think there's some big things happening at Forest.
Well, we was there, weren't we? I went with Crouchy. I think we talked.
Well, yeah, you've been there. You've been in the environment. You've seen it. What's
unbelievable. The lads there were like, no, every time you go into a club, you're always feeling a little bit like, are we going to be made welcome? But you're right. Yeah, as soon as I walked in, that's a winning mentality. Then I watched them play. Was it game 3 weeks ago? And I thought, they had a little wobble. They come back and they're on it, mate.
Yeah.
Alanga as well.
Oh, mate,
what a player he is.
Covered a game of week against United. That goal we scored. Oh,
yeah, good at weekend again.
That's what we will flip on to Man United. But how can a player of that quality be left to leave Manchester United? That's wild, isn't it? Because he's
again, that is the same thing as environments and cultures. So when just going quickly onto Rashford, really quickly. So when Rashford went to Villa, right? I think I'd done Sky on one of his games, right? And I said, listen, he is going to go through the roof. I said, it's going to be a dark cloud lifted off. He just needed a new break and just a release. As much as he tried to make it work there, he just needed a clean break. And that's what some of these players need, and that's what's happened at United. Some of them just need to go. Some of them shouldn't even be here in the first place.
United needs to break.
That's what I mean. Everybody, some of them shouldn't even be there. But with some of them, like I've gone down, they're playing some of the best football of their careers, or like got a spring back in their step. That's what it's about, and that's what's going on at Forest. So,
Yeah.
So come on, like Liverpool, Arsenal, Forest. We're going to say going to be in there. So are we going to say surely Man City have got to finish in the top 5?
I'm going to go Nottingham Forest 3rd, Man City 4th, but I'm worried about Chelsea. But
You're putting that in because of your heart.
Yeah, I know.
That's why you're putting that in.
So the last,
you said Newcastle were going to make it.
I know.
The last spot then, the last spot is out. Chelsea,
Newcastle.
Villa or Newcastle. It's tough, isn't it? Two big teams missing out there.
Again, just from watching Chelsea yesterday.
In fact, you've just chucked City in there anyway.
No, why do I? I've done that. The City one just because of the name. More
just
than
the name. Yeah, exactly. I just think it's a bit of a flip of a coin.
Yeah, it's going to go. Do you know what? I think that's going to be the highlight of this season because the Championship's done, relegation's done. Just chase for Champions League.
That's where
it's going to go. It's going to go down to the wire.
Do you know what I mean? Like Chelsea got to play Newcastle and Forest.
Yeah.
Like Newcastle have got to play Villa, Brighton, Chelsea. It's
going to be
one of the ones when they're going up against each other.
Mm.
And if they don't, it's just important on winning all the other games they've got.
Just want to go.
I think it's hard to call, mate.
Yeah.
It's going to go down to the wire, I reckon.
Yeah, it will do. It will do. Just something you mentioned there is talk about players like Rashford.
Mm-hmm.
He's. We don't know how his deal's going to be at the end of the season. You know, is he going to go back to Manchester United? Jadon Sancho's in a similar situation, I believe, at Chelsea. Like we talk about loans, but Rashford, you shouted Rashford to be. Go on.
I don't know how he goes back after everything that's happened.
Imagine
the manager's still there. I don't get how you go back.
Yeah.
It's that big, though, isn't it?
Everything that's been said, I just don't get it. And
what do you reckon? What do you reckon his fee will be to buy him now that he's? Because that would have been agreed before.
How long was on next on his contract? Do we know?
A couple of years, but he's.
Well, the more he keeps playing and scoring, that's what he's doing at the minute as well. He's probably killing himself. But I don't see him going back. I don't see him going. And if he go, I mean, look at Villa, mate.
Going on another loan if they can't sell him. If no one's in a buy.
If they can't agree a fee, I don't see him playing there next season.
Yeah,
100%.
Well,
no.
Imagine going winning the Champions League and the FA Cup, then going back to Man U. Imagine that.
Ooh.
You have your tail between you'd be buzzing, wouldn't you? Jadon Sancho, the same situation.
Well, I don't know about you guys, but I need to see more of him. I need to see. He's not doing enough for me.
Right.
Like, I just thought, like, what a great platform to come in and play.
Champions League final. He was best player on the pitch, wasn't he? Was that a couple of years ago now?
Yeah.
Got it, isn't he?
I don't know. I just watched him the other day, and it was a frustrating one the other night against who did they play the other night? It was Spurs. Sorry, the Spurs game. Watched him the other night against Spurs, and he's trying to make things happen, but it's just not coming off. Is he trying too much? Like the crowd getting on his back a little bit as well. I don't know. Listen, 100% there's a player there.
Yeah,
but needs to come out somewhere. I don't know whether it'll be at Chelsea or not.
What do you make of him?
Well, it's hard because you're looking for something a bit individual. Like we've talked about Chelsea, they haven't been on fire as a team, have they?
Yeah, it's true.
So it's difficult as well.
But
if you're that type of player, you want to see him he's got to make something happen, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at some of the wingers out there at the moment, just making things happen, I think he's got to. And like the fans are on his case. Is that affecting him a bit mentally, with a bit under pressure? But like I said, it ain't Chelsea at the moment. It ain't. They ain't doing enough as a team.
Yeah, they're not. That's it. So we all think Chelsea or Newcastle, and they could slip out the top 4 ish. Listen, it's going to be tight. With something that was confirmed.
Imagine if it ends up Forest, Villa, Newcastle, Chelsea, and City both. That's a possibility, mate.
Yeah, of course it is.
The way the season's going, it's a possibility they both miss out.
Yeah, imagine that.
Don't want to play for both. I don't want them, but it's a possibility.
Yeah, true. I just want to quickly jump away to something. Southampton, early relegation confirmed, Bridgie. A 3-1 loss to Spurs sealed the relegation. It's the earliest in Premier League's history.
Yeah.
So they're chasing, I think, Derby of 08. was the last team had, was it 11 points, 12 points?
They had 11. What? So Southampton have gone down before that
Southampton have
Derby
gone-
team.
Before that Derby team, which is in.
Come on, sakes, for you a couple of points.
Sorry,
You've
dude.
got another record. I'll tell you what I feel sorry for.
Go on.
Ramsdale, mate. Do you know why?
Yeah.
I've met him a couple of times. I think he's a great lad.
Yeah.
Do you know what? He's a good goalie, mate.
Yeah.
And I felt sorry for him going there. I thought, do you know what? You're earning your money going there.
Yeah.
And I feel for him. Like even the Arsenal where he got like, I thought he just got dropped quite quick.
Yeah.
But mate, he could be Chelsea goalie. He could play for most teams in the Premier League. I think he's really good.
He's a real. He was.
I feel for him a bit.
Yeah.
He was Arsenal's #1. Then it was gone, and then all of a sudden he's fighting a relegation battle. So it was just twists and turns
Yeah.
so much. But he's, listen, it hasn't worked out for him. But I think you're right, Bridgie. I think a bigger club will come in for him.
Got to, hasn't he? Surely. Well, surely there must be a clause in it. If they'd have gone down, he could leave for a fee. But great lad, isn't he? He's brilliant in the dressing room.
Yeah. And he's very, very good.
I felt like I just happened like that. It was just dropped.
Yeah.
He's mad 'cause he wasn't playing bad.
Yeah, no, he's very, very good. And he's a great lad, and he'll come. We've all played in relegation threatened teams, and we've all had relegation. This early in April, how many games have they got to play like that? What do they do? The managers we think's gone or going. Your club, Bridgie. Where do they go from here?
Well, in the Championship.
Mm.
Do you know what? All my mates, all my mates are all Saints fans. Mate, you know what they're at? They're just buzzing to go down and win some games. That's what they're happy for. They're actually happy, and they're all talking about the stadiums they're going to go to. But, mate, it's
that is a point.
It's Saints have always been a selling club.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean? And I think they'll do all right next year, and they'll win some games. But mate, it's hard for any team that goes down in that league to come back up. It ain't easy.
Yeah.
It's not an easy season. And they always knew they were going to go up against us.
It was,
I think it was a year too early. It was a year too early for them, but they spent money, Sids. They did. I think they was one of the bigger spenders of the teams that come up. Southampton.
You got to spend a lot,
right? Yeah, it's hard to buy, isn't it?
You've got a bit like Brighton, where they get players, where they do a lot of
Moneyball with data. He's
very intelligent with the buying, and it comes off for them.
Are you a little bit of stuff? Some players, you take a few loans from some big clubs, they hit the ground running, and look, I think you look at them next season, it'll be tough next season. I mean, Championship's always tough, but they go down. Ipswich are looking like, I think the bottom three look like it's not done now. I think Wolves have done unreal to win them 2 back-to-back games that they've done.
Yeah.
And it looks like they're going to stay up. So what we're saying, Leicester, Ipswich, and Southampton to go down.
Yeah.
Or Southampton confirmed. But that's tough next year, though. To come back up. Some big teams in the Championship.
The games are coming thick and fast. I've played in it. It's just like, it's hard, mate. And there are battles. A lot of the games are battles, mate.
I never played in Champ. I played in League One, didn't I? I run into Coventry. But they say that the Champ's the hardest league because you don't have, in League One, you get there's a lot of breaks between games. Yeah. But Championship's relentless, sad.
Yeah.
You was at the back end of your career when you played it, didn't you?
Yeah.
And you started
it and then finished there, yeah.
Brutal.
Mate, yeah, it's relentless.
Everyone says that.
It's relentless. I remember the bank holiday weekend game used to play Saturday, Monday.
Yeah.
Saturday, Monday on the bank holiday weekend in May or April. I was like, whoa. I didn't sign up for this.
Mate,
it's brutal.
If you're in there, mate, you need to get out. Another thing, Bridgie, so your friends are happier to be in the Championships winning games because that leads us on to mental health impact of ownership crisis. Reading fans have expressed that the ongoing ownership crisis is affecting their mental health. Like, what is it with fans? Like they're so invested. You think it's a question of some fans need to know.
They live and breathe it. They go to work. They earn their money. They spend the money on going to football.
Yeah.
Like that's people live and breathe football.
I think
there's
a lot
nothing worse.
of people forget that.
Then they go to work. There's different groups of fans. They support so and so. You go into work. You're getting battered because you've lost. It's just.
Yeah, I can see that.
You know what I mean?
But if Southampton fans, they'll be getting it, though, wouldn't they? Imagine that.
I just think they've The ones that I know are just, well, it's over now, isn't it? We know what we're doing. We know where we're going.
But the ones with that one there, with the Reading one, it's because it's
uncertainty of future as well. They've had some financial difficulties, haven't they?
Yeah. So Dai Young, who the owner, he put a lot of money into it at the start.
Yeah.
Right. Ill-advised.
This name, by the way.
Dai Young. Yeah.
Is it watching bad football all the time as well? Sometimes.
Listen, he put a bit of dough in at the start.
Is his real name Dai Young?
Dai Young, yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was ill-advised. He had some players on like ridiculous wages for the championship, and then it just snowballed mentally.
Yeah.
It's gone crazy. But 150 years that football club's been there. Like Reading is like it's a big part. I loved it. I had a good time there. I had 4 or 5 years there. You don't realise how big it is to people's lives. Like that's like what we were saying there. They go Monday to Friday work. They go there. They'll enjoy themselves. Like whether they win, lose or draw, they're going to back their team. So mental health, like that when they're seeing that, they're like, when it's been ill-advised, run the wrong way, takeovers happening. They've had 4 or 5 winding up orders. You know, they've pushed deadlines. He's been told he has to sell it now.
Right. Okay.
So the deadline's been pushed now to the end of April.
Who would tell him he has to sell it? What was that like?
So he's been suspended from the EFL now. So he can't be a director. He can't be an owner. He basically has to sell. So that deadline was last week. It's now been pushed to the end of the month, end of April. But there's still some sort of confusions around it because Rob Kuig, I think, who used to own Wickham, he was the last bidder that got to like the final hurdle, and then it fell apart there. So he has got something to do with it.
Yeah.
But one way or another, it will get sorted out one way or another. It should be for the better with a new owner. But there's a chance where they could be told to stop playing games.
Yeah.
Reading, or they could get thrown out the EFL. So, which could be another Bury.
Yeah.
That's
really?
how bad it is. Yeah,
how bad it is.
That is how bad it is.
Wow. And
so that's why people are struggling with their mental health.
That is,
it's not.
There's nothing worse as well. Like I remember going to school,
right,
being a Saints fan,
right,
and like, do you know what I mean? You go in and kids are just ripping you. And it's like, unless you can deal with that and just, just take a breather and just relax. It doesn't matter. It's only football. Yeah. Mate, it only takes that to get angry and kick snapping back, and then you're getting reeled in, aren't you? And then you just...
You've had history. We've heard you with the Portsmouth fans. You know that.
It's horrible, mate.
Oh, mate, yeah, to be fair. But
mate.
Sid, did you play was you at Reading when Petr Cech done his... Did you play in that game?
Yeah.
Reading was there. Yeah, remember?
Yeah.
That was Stephen Hunt.
Yeah,
I was with him on the weekend actually.
Yeah.
That was bad, mate. Like, obviously, it was bad for a couple of reasons. Do you know what I thought was worse than that? In the same game, Carlo got done, didn't he, as well? Which I thought was obviously, listen,
Stephen Hunt again?
No, that was Sonko.
It was in chaos.
From a corner, bang, and JT ended up going in goal, and I think you guys still beat. I think it's still 1-0. You might
1-0. It was early on in the season, wasn't it?
Earlier in the season, mate. But a lot of people don't know the after effects for that for Stephen Hunt was bad.
Yeah, I know.
Was it?
Yeah, like death threats, like I think bullets through the post, things like that.
Really?
It was. There was a big thing after that, and obviously the following season, I signed for Chelsea. And I remember the first time I sort of sat down with Pet, he was like, "Did he mean it?"
Yeah.
I was like, "Look, he didn't mean it. I think he's meant to, like, I don't think he's not meant to do that on his head, but
it wouldn't meant to hurt him.
But
it was just it wouldn't meant to hurt him, but it was a little bit. You did have the opportunity to leave a bit on the goalie.
Yeah, but you wouldn't wish that on anyone.
No,
you wouldn't.
Nah, especially him as well.
Yeah.
Big Pete, but that was those were the good times. Like what 2005, 2006. That was around them. So that was when I think they obviously they went down and they got promoted again. So they've had some good times. At the minute, it's real bad for Reading,
mate. Well, really, listen, we wish them all the best. Yes. We want them to, clubs like Reading must be looking at, clubs like Wrexham and thinking, wow, like we gone Premier League and then we're back there. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we wish them all the best.
Yeah.
Right. I thought we'd go on to some of the things Gary Neville has said.
Yeah.
Basically slamming football for the robotic play.
Yeah.
The lack of risk taking.
Yeah.
And intensity, calling it a disease in the game. I think there has been risk taking. but risk taking in your own half, mate, in your own box. People trying to do things rather than just going, no, it ain't on. I've got to go long here.
Yeah.
And people are conceding goals.
Yeah, you're big on this. I've heard you say this about the risk taking.
Yeah, 100%. Like teams, near enough every team now that builds up, the centre half takes the goal kick, passes it to the keeper.
Yeah,
doesn't he? Right,
yeah.
And then they split.
Yeah,
right, and then they try and play out.
Yeah,
very rarely do you see a goalkeeper now go long.
Yeah,
get one in one.
Yeah,
no, get up, yeah. And then, but then the annoying thing is, like, so they'll try, they'll do all little triangles and diamonds, all that, like, in the 6-yard box where they have their own third. They get to the final third, the winger. They'll like 1v1. They'll like jink it, and then they'll just turn back and play to the midfield player, and then they'll recycle, and then that's it. I'm like, where is the players like yourself? Yeah, right.
There is some.
Yeah, there are some, but are they getting coached? Are they like Jack Grealish? Yeah, like he used to get on the ball, bob, weave, get into the 18-yard box, and knew that no one could touch him. Try and sort of manipulate, get something going.
Yeah. Are they scared of because the manager's telling them to do something?
That's what I'm saying. So
he hasn't given them the freedom to go and do it.
Otherwise, they get dragged. That's where I think it is now. I totally agree. Yeah, totally. Everyone plays sort of same way. It's very sort of robotic. Do
you think fans? That's the view of fans. You think they're like? Cause you're talking to you were talking to some fans. They're like
Chelsea fans the other day. They've got some hospitality. Yeah. And they're not coming out after half time. They're just staying inside and having a drink. Yeah. They literally can't be bothered to go out and watch the rest of the game.
And that's but I reckon that's even spreading out into the terraces because some of them going down at half time getting a beer. Yeah. Second half kicks off. I know there's always a little overspill that come in late, but I think they're getting more and more now because they're seeing the first half. It's like,
and you think it's too structured.
Yeah. I know fans that got tickets. Yeah. They're at the pub before the game. Mate, they're rubbing an iron if to go to the game or not.
No way.
They're thinking, shall we go? Well, and they're going, oh, come on, let's go. And they've gone, and they think, why'd we bother? My dad especially.
Yeah,
he's gone to a few Saints games. No, it's not great for them at the moment, but
recently he's been.
He's like, oh, I don't know. He's gone. He's like, I don't know why I bother.
I agree. If you speak to the majority of clubs and you said to them, right, on an entertainment value, how much value you getting for your ticket?
They always say that we play in the same way.
That's what it is. I think, and so two things you said: control, like the way they play the games. And not enough flair, not enough risk takers. But I think you're right. I think the modern coach, they've been brought up and there's been so much structure within the game. By the time these kids come through, it's like there's decisions have already been made for them. So the game's a bit robotic. So I can see why. Yeah. I can see why that'd be the reason.
I don't think you should have to do your badges to be a coach or a manager.
If you've played,
if you've played the game.
If you've played the game.
I don't think you should, because why? Because you have to coach a certain way.
I think
you have to do things a certain way, but you're being told how to coach. Everyone has different views of the game. Yeah. If you've played the game, like in fairness, kind of know it. Do you know what I mean? Why
I get it.
Badge, say, oh,
no, you're right.
I know how
the flip side to that. I would say when I done my badges with the Welsh FA, that's why I went to do it with the Welsh FA. Like they would give you your topic and they would go, right, you're playing a whatever 3-5-2 and you're playing against a 4-4-2. You know, this is the scenario. They paint the picture, then it's down to you to. Yeah. But the good thing is, it's down to you. Like you can do what you want. You can say, well, I've done this and I've brought this one in. I'm overlapping here. They go, well, why? And I go, well, because I think if we double up on this side here, it's not.
Why? Because I've played the game for 20 years, mate, and this what should happen.
Yeah. So I think there's scenarios where you're right when you do these badges. It's very much whoever's taking them sessions or doing the badge, then they're telling you how they would kind of coach, if that makes sense, or how they would manage. But that's what I'm saying. Everyone's going the same direction. Everyone's funneling into the same way of playing. Like no one's being different now, are they? Yeah. You don't get a team now that's just going direct and smashing balls up. There's been a bit rogue. Everyone's playing out. Everyone's doing this. And I think as well it comes down to a lot of these stats. Yeah. Especially, I know Brentford and Brighton are big on it, but I remember seeing a clip on Brentford the other week, and they didn't take a shot from outside the box. Right, and they narrowed it down because it was like 0.014 chance of scoring, whereas he done one pass inside the box and then that percentage then went up
Yeah,
more. And then if they get to the byline and they do cutbacks, it increases their chance of scoring more. I think now a lot of these teams are going on more on data and stats of where they can score. Like, bring back the banger. Like, where's goals from outside the box from now?
It's true.
Like, McAllister scored a welby against Fulham.
That was a great goal, by the way.
When was the last time you see that? You strike.
It's true. It's true. I think, you're
The
right.
way the balls are these days.
Yeah.
You hit a ball, it flies and it moves in the air a lot more.
Yeah.
I think what you're saying is with the badges, you do take, when you've been an ex-player, I think they should have two types of routes to becoming a coach. One should be like the sort of the coach who hasn't played the game, and they'll go a certain way because they have so many other skills, and because they learn from developing how to coach. But I think the ex-player, like, a lot of the stuff you do on the badges, I think is really good. You learn, but then there's also some stuff you're like, no, that's not how it is at that level.
Yeah.
And it depends on what level you play at.
Yeah.
So that's what I found. So
Yeah, I know. I agree.
did
I
learn
think
a
it could
lot.
probably help you in a way, I guess. I've not done them, but it'd
Yeah.
help you in a way to give you the confidence to go on and take those sessions. But
Yeah.
I'd like to think if I was going to do it, you'd nick some of those sessions of the coaches you've had,
Yeah.
whether it's Glenn Oddle or Marino,
Yeah.
and you nick some of their sessions, because Reno's sessions were always great.
Yeah.
They were good, weren't they?
Yeah.
And that's what I would do. You'd have a basic of what the player managers you work with and the sessions you've done. But I think so much becoming a good manager is now just like, your wisdom, your footballing wisdom when you're talking to the lads. You know what I mean? You look at some of the teams now, the top managers around. They just seem to they connect with their players, don't they?
Yeah.
So
I know Gary Neville talked about it, but I feel like it's all the time now. It's getting talked about every week.
yeah,
How boring the games.
Yeah. Well, it's just, listen, fans will. What Gary Neville said, I think he was right. So both teams looked happy with a draw. I'm willing to take risks and go for the win. Like, they're in a bad. That's the first Manchester derby where there's really it's not much on it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was a bit of a damp squib, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you look at, I was looking at this from a Man City point of view, that if they needed to win that game yesterday, right? Say they were second in the league and they need to get back, and it would leapfrog them to back up to first, right? They would have won that game, right? How many times is it before when you've seen Company score a last minute goal? Remember against Leicester, was it? And then Sterling, when he was there, I think he bobbed and weaved and then put one in the top corner against someone to win the game as well, like last minute goal. You find a way to do it, and then that game is that on the weekend when you're watching it, you look at it going, these don't want to find a way. They don't. They're just. If it comes off, it comes off. If it doesn't, no. It's like, no one's willing to say. No one's willing to get it. Take a risk. Look at the famous goal that Aguero scored.
Yeah.
That didn't just happen by a fluke. I think the ball went long, didn't it? Did Aguero even start it, mate?
There was a little move into Balotelli.
But he got it. I think he got it, and then I think he took a few other touches to get it into Balotelli, and Balotelli got it back to him, wasn't it? And then he's like,
there's a lot. Yeah, Man City look like they've just lost their intensity. Do you know what I mean? Off the ball. That's what I think the problem is. I watch in that game. They'd be Acha. They could play and they had the best, technical players that moved the ball through the lines. But what you knew when you played, their pressing was unbelievable.
Yeah.
I think that's the thing for them this year that's really fallen off. I think it's the pressing.
But we've done that when you're playing right, and you're playing well, and if you're up there and the team's good, and like look at Forest for instance, them hard yards, they're easy. The hard yards are always easy when you're winning. You're looking forward to going to training, and it's all good on the weekend. When you have a little dip, and then 10 yards, they start becoming 8 yards, or the 3-yard little press becomes 1.
Yeah,
I mean, and that's where like they're the fine little details.
Yeah,
that you say that is the difference between Man City being 5th, Man City being 2nd or 1st.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
You see Pep Guardiola come out after the game slamming United fans to the chants about Phil Foden's mum.
Yeah, mate. I mean, listen, it's when fans are saying things about family. I'm never a big, I don't like that. Do you know what I mean? I think it happens at clubs, doesn't it? It's happened to me.
I think it's always going to happen.
Yeah,
'cause they're always going to want to get under the other players.
Yeah,
I see it all the time.
That's an unusual thing though. Like, you you talk to your mates and that when you're playing. Say you must have had a game where the fans would be singing something really derogatory towards you or something like that.
Yeah.
And as footballers, you just have like this. You just learn to just deal with it, don't you? Get on with it. But it's weird because what other job do you get that where you get someone? Do you know what I mean?
Just because they're on the other side of the hoarding and makes them. Like,
They don't realise it's not just affecting the player, is it?
Yeah.
It's that player's family as well.
Mate. Yeah.
They're having to put up with it, and then they're getting upset or angry.
Yeah.
And
it's not nice.
It's a knock-on effect.
It's not
isn't
good.
It?
I used to get loads about I used to get loads about the colour of obviously my hair and.
Fire.
I used to get loads about the ginger, obviously but they was little ones. The one that hurt me the most. Right. The one that hurt nice. This is ridiculous. The season after I left Chelsea and I went to Villa. Right. And then we played you guys at Villa Park.
Yeah.
And all the Chelsea fans singing Chelsea Reject to me. Chelsea Reject. I was like, oh, that's a killer that is.
That's when you've been at the club.
Yeah.
It's a killer. I remember going back to Southampton and being booed. And I was like, oh, mate. It's horrible, isn't it?
I know. I'd done one with, first time I played against West Ham. It was a cup game. So when I have more fans at Stamford Bridge. And the fans were giving me some, and I was taking a corner. I'm getting things pinged at me, and I got a bottle pinged at me. So I thought I tried to diffuse the situation, but I was just messing about with the fans, like drinking it. It was like vodka Coke or something in it. I was sore. Do you know what I mean? But that was because when you've been at West Ham for so long, the first time you play against them, it can be. Do you know what I mean? A bit off-putting.
I think when you're playing, you don't realise. How it's affecting those players. Like, for instance, with you, I wouldn't have realised what it was like for you. Yeah. And there's one, it was Crouch's documentary that stood out for me. And I didn't realise how bad it was for him.
Yeah.
How much stick he got. And then you think, it's his mum and dad watching him go through that stick as well.
Yeah.
Like, it's tough, isn't it? It is tough when fans can be brutal. It's one of the, it's so tough.
I remember the first time, I can still picture this geezer's face as a 17-year-old. I come on against Sheffield Wednesday and I was having a bad game and we lost 4-0 at home. And it was the first time when you see a real grown man just like pointing at you, growling at you and like that. And it took me by instance, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It just caught his eye. So I do remember it, yeah.
But when we were playing,
the
environment, the dressing room we was in, it was a tough one anyway. So you learn that, whereas now it could be a little bit tougher now for them ones. For the new generation coming in,
and it's
pelters.
It's probably worse now as well because social media is just non-stop, in it.
Well, yeah,
it's just magnified even more. But there's nothing better though, is there, when you're getting a bit of stick, and then you go and stick one in the back of the net.
I prefer playing away from home than I did at home.
Yeah,
I used to love it. Yeah. But when you used to get a victory away from home, it was nothing better. Coming back on the bus or the train or wherever. Yeah. And you got a night out as well.
Now we're talking. Now we're talking. Now we're talking. But listen, I agree. With Gary Neville, I think it's a little bit too structured, the game at the moment.
Is it going to change though? I don't know.
Might need Wayne Bridge.
It's going to take another like Wimbledon or a Stoke style team to go and we're going to stick it right in the channels and get right at it. I reckon there's teams and defenders that would struggle with that. Just keep getting peppered like channels in behind, putting them under pressure a little bit more that way.
Yeah. Absolutely.
It is.
No, I'd love to see it. I just want to quickly jump on before we forget. Mo Salah. Player of the year. Yeah. He's got to be up there, isn't he?
Brilliant.
Numbers he's done.
Brilliant.
Talk about his future coming to an end.
I reckon he's going Saudi. Who's going?
Oh, God. Wow. The money, because he's still young enough. He could go over there, 5-year deal. Wow. That's a massive coup for Saudi. It makes sense, doesn't it? With him from that sort of region as well.
Yeah. Do you think he wants to go there though? Like, in my opinion, looking at it, I think it's one. I think he'd like to stay at Liverpool.
Yeah.
I think his team have gone, look, for him to stay.
Yeah.
This is what X, Y, and Z are getting paid at X, Y, and Z clubs. This is what he feels as though he's worth.
Yeah.
And I think Liverpool have got their structure and stuff, and that they've got to keep in the boundaries of that, because if they start doing that, then you got Van Dijk that's going to be knocking, and obviously, Trent looks like he's going to be going to Madrid. And I think ideally, he'd like to stay.
Yeah.
I think he'd like to stay. And he mentioned something, didn't he, a couple of months back, to say he's not heard nothing.
Yeah.
To say, like, I've maybe we've put our, 2 pence worth in, and it's down to the club now. So
You think if he stayed,
Right.
that Saudi thing's still going to come along?
I think it'll always be there.
It'll
for him.
be there for
I
him.
think it will always be there. But
Because
I mean, it's,
greatness still
He's
playing well.
yeah,
He is
You know what I mean?
great,
yeah,
He could stay another 1-2 seasons and still get that deal.
yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, listen, he can probably play on for another 5-6 years, and God knows how long if he was over in Saudi Arabia. Another quick mention: Kevin De Bruyne said he's coming to an end. What about City? What a player! Where'd you put him, Sids? Because I put him up there.
Yeah.
I put him. He's stat with all midfielders with your Vieira, Shaquin's, Gerrard's. He's well up there, isn't he?
Yeah,
Kev-
I think.
yeah.
I think he could. Yeah, he's in there. He'd have a definite argument for being in an all-time Premier League 11.
Yeah.
It's
All-time
so hard
Premier
to
League
compare
11.
different eras, but yeah, definitely 100%. But I've got a lot of Man City friends.
Yeah.
And they always chuck in, that they love him, amazing what he's done. They'll always chuck in David Silva as their favourite.
Really? Above KDB?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
And for my Man City mates, yeah.
Yeah. Do you know?
Just think he was just different, yeah.
Wow. Oh, listen, I
playing with him,
yeah, course.
unbelievable.
Yeah,
And I guess,
yeah.
but if you look at what he's done, De Bruyne, and what he's achieved, brilliant. But a lot of the Man City fans, they put David Silva down as their favourite.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely my mates that are Man City fans.
They heard a stat which blew my mind with KDB. Right, he's never won Premier League player of the month.
That's crazy.
That's insane.
No way.
That's mental, isn't it?
No way.
Makes me feel better about not getting one.
Yeah, mate, unbelievable, isn't it?
Seriously.
Yeah,
Well, it's mad, isn't it?
Yeah,
Mental, yeah.
I've taken a big gamble.
Absurd, yeah.
I've taken a
Crazy,
big gamble
innit?
throwing it out there, but yeah, he's never won
I
a player of the
never
month.
knew that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, considering when he was on fire, he was literally just whipping
Just
balls in
bossing it,
every
mate.
kind of cross, where it was in the air, along the floor, through people's legs, assists, goals, left, right. He was scoring well-beats from outside the box.
Yeah.
Had absolutely everything, yeah.
Hey, passing's just a joke,
I know.
isn't it? And the way you can drive with the ball.
He said where he's going to go. Well, it was just that
I heard
MLS.
rumours, San Diego.
That's a nice one for him, isn't it?
Yeah, and
so
the rumour I heard was he was getting part ownership.
Because that's a new franchise.
Oh,
coming up.
okay, so MLS
Which-
team.
Yeah.
For me, Saudi
Yeah.
at that, if you're getting part ownership, I'd be.
Would you advise it to
San
anyone,
Diego's
like, in
probably
terms of
good.
going to the States and playing?
I just got back from Miami. We were obviously talking about it. Yeah, I finished off in Tampa, didn't I, mate?
Yeah.
The best experience ever, Sid. Honestly, I had a great time. Lived in the sun. Going back to my trip to Miami just reminded me, right? So I went to watch the tennis. So I was chatting to Djokovic and Andy Murray after.
you do?
A few names there.
No. Yeah, I've taken So I had to. Like, it was the FA Cup when so.
Yeah.
I'm chatting with Djokovic and Andy Murray come over. Like, both lovely fellas, right? They a bit weirded out. Like, what are you doing here at the back of the Miami Open with the FA Cup?
Yeah.
So anyway, we had to chat. But Messi was watching the game at the stadium. So I was in the box and Messi was over there. And bearing in mind we're in Miami, right? And when he come on the screen, the place was like buzzing, like Messi. So I could see him. Then I think he wanted to meet Djokovic, or Djokovic wanted to meet him after the game. So I'm backstage working, and I watch him with his family walk out the stadium, but like hounded, like the Beatles. Like, it was
Oh, Messi was.
Messi, yeah. I was like, wow,
Really?
it was like, it's great living in America because you have the anonymity, but he is
So
such
it's
a big
different for
name.
him. He's iconic and he's a world kid.
Yeah. I was
Whereas other players would go there and
Did him anywhere he
I
went,
was
didn't
like,
he?
yeah,
He would.
yeah. I think it was the first time I've seen a player like that captivate people around.
Yeah.
Beckham's the same, isn't
Yeah,
it? Beckham was into it real.
Yeah.
Time, yeah.
And he was just like, yeah. Anyway, just dropped a few names there, didn't I?
Did you speak to Messi?
No. If you drop, yeah,
He dropped the shoulder from you.
Yeah.
Down a step over.
yeah. Mate, I miss watching him as well. I would have loved to have watched him while I was out. I didn't get time to watch him. He played. I think he scored the game. A couple of the guys went to watch him play, and he come on within 2 minutes, banged another goal in. It was unbelievable.
It actually sounds like you've done some work then when you was away, mate.
Yeah, it
it was a work trip.
Yeah, it was a work trip, mate. Proper grafting. Yeah,
That's a good work trip.
yeah,
it's a good work.
Yeah, it was. It was
It's good
good.
work.
Yeah. Anyway, let's get back onto the chats. Move on.
Sure, yeah.
Champions League. We went. Starts up this week. I'm doing the Munich Inter Milan game, Sids.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've watched the two teams. We'll start there because that's the one I've doing my own work on.
Yeah.
Munich, centre halves, left back Alphonso Davies is out.
Yeah.
Upamecano's out and Musiala's out.
Oh, wow.
I think personally, I backed to Munich. I
Yeah.
fancied them with it being at home, but I think now that them three players are out, I think they could struggle. What do you think?
What, over the course of the 2 games?
Well, definitely the two defenders I think are out. Musiala just tweaked his hamstring, so I'm not sure.
Just always when I see Munich, I always just think they're efficient. I mean, they're done. They've got the know-how to just get over the line, and they've got a decent squad, haven't they, as well? So I know what you mean, like big players missing. Inter, it's like, have they got enough? I haven't really seen a lot of Inter this season, but have they got enough to capitalise on that, or the Munich? If they just batten down Natchez a little bit, and then just like Kane just gets one, or
Kane's on fire, and with the final being in Munich as well, and they got quite a favourable draw. Now they ain't got to play Real Madrid, or PSG, who I think are the two best teams.
Yeah, just think for Kane. To see it happening.
You'd love to see him.
I'd love to see him go out, win a load, and then be at Arsenal next year. Well, I keep dropping this. If he wants to come back, Arsenal's perfect for him.
he'd never go back to Arsenal.
No, do you not reckon?
No.
I can see it happening, mate.
Yeah,
Really?
Tell you.
Well, right,
What's this happening? Anyone who supports Spurs that sees me hates me saying it, so I keep saying it. I could do if he was going to come back.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean? He'd get offered a good deal there.
they need a centre forward, don't they? They do need a centre
Good
forward.
deal, mate.
Oh, mate, that would be.
But listen, I'd be pleased. He's probably
there.
they're going to win the league. Inter Milan, on the other hand, a lot of people have them down as dark horses. Barella, Thuram.
Are you picking them to go and nick it?
No, I picked Munich. But it's killed me because of the injuries. Them boys. Now I think Inter Milan will win, but they're definitely on the most favourable side of the draw. I mean,
You picked PSG though, didn't you, in the previous game against Liverpool?
Yeah,
So they're up against Villa.
Yes, and I think it's a bridge too far. It's a bridge too far for
Villa, yeah.
Unbelievable, because that PSG team, I backed them against Liverpool, Bridgie, because I've been covering them. And you know when you watch a team and they're just bossing games, but they weren't winning.
Yeah.
They weren't the chances weren't going in, but the midfield was unbelievable. So I fancied them against Liverpool, and they were so much better than Liverpool over the 2 legs.
Oh yeah.
So I really fancied
It's a
them.
bridge too far, right? But imagine that Villa team.
Yeah.
Like, do you know when a team's got that feeling of like, we're underdogs here,
Yeah.
we've got nothing to lose,
Yeah.
we stay solid. Like, there's that in their favour a little bit. Is a bit like what Forest have got this year in the league. They've got that fight and passion for each other. It might not be as easy as what you think if they've got that fight and
No, well, the first leg. We know what the first leg is. Anyone? First leg at home or away? That's the big thing.
they've got that mentality.
Yeah.
They've got that mentality to stay strong.
Yeah.
For that and that fight.
Are you backing them?
I'm not backing them. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I agree with Villa.
Listen, they've an unreal debut season.
To see him go and do it
in the
I'd
Champions
love
League.
to see him go and do it. I love an upset.
Yeah.
Just think if they got their mentality and they can go out and really stay strong the whole time. It's mate, like I said, it's a massive arse.
Yeah, of course.
Have you covered any games up there in the Champions League for Villa?
Not in the Champions League. No.
Nor have I. But all the lads who go said it's brilliant.
Yeah.
It's like rocking.
Yeah,
that's
that'd be a
good
big
to see.
factor.
Yeah,
that'd be the biggest one for PSG, because I think you could go back probably the last 10 years. They've always just gone a little bit flaky, haven't they? In certain games where they've had all the different individuals, but as a collective, they've not really gelled. Whereas this one, they're all sort of like much more of a unit and less flaky.
They look different, don't they?
Yeah,
they do look different. Yeah. That's two factors: the Villa Park crowd and also PSG's hangover, like because they've thrown a few. Remember the Man City game twice in the last few years where they was winning the game and I think Man City come and won scored late doors, but But I still fancy PSG, but it will be good. What's the other games?
Arsenal, Real Madrid.
What do you think, Geese?
Real Madrid.
Yeah. Arsenal, Gabriel.
Arsenal will be.
That's a big miss, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's a big miss.
Just the way it's been going for him. Do you know what I mean? It's
yeah. Where do you stand on Arteta? Because he's been coming in for a lot of stick in by the fans. He's still in the latter stage of the Champions League. Oh, they'd have been disappointed with the league, but they can't be upset with the job he's done, can they, Sids?
I think it's getting to a point now where at the start when he went in, he made some big calls, Aubameyang, and he changed like the culture. He made everyone sort of he brought it like that siege mentality thing in the start, didn't he? He changed it around, and then they started, challenging for titles really. And I think they just come up against two machines, didn't they, in the last 2 years in terms of Man City last season and Liverpool this one. I think he's still got loads left in the bank in terms of his job. I think it'll be next season will be the one where it'll be right. They need to buy well in the summer, and then I think that will probably give the intent of how they're going to go.
I reckon it's next season
or nothing.
Yeah.
I
think if they get Harry Kane. And then see what happens.
He'll get judged next season.
He'll get judged.
Imagine that. He's on it, Harry Kane.
Wow. I've manifested it now. I've manifested it. It's
actually
happening.
Coming back. Yeah.
No, but it is. What, one more season, you reckon? He's got a...
Yeah. But listen, he's still...
He's still doing a good job. Do you know, it's hard, isn't it? Because it's such a hard league. It's such a hard thing to go and do, win it.
But, Keys...
What, Champions League?
No,
or the Premier League?
Even the Premier League.
Oh, yeah.
It's so hard. So it's like, he's done a good job.
Yeah.
But is he the man to take it? So that looks good.
This new director of football as well, isn't there? That's coming.
From Sevilla, was he?
Yeah. So, obviously,
Was he one of them?
From Edu, isn't he?
Yeah. Listen, I just think bridge too far for them. Gabriel, I can't see them beating Real Madrid. I think Arteta needs a centre forward in the summer. Bridge, you desperate for it to be Harry Kane, but don't think
Harry Kane or Saka.
Osimhen, no one.
Osimhen, yeah.
No, like. I know he's had this little strange one where he's gone to Turkey and he's banging in goals. He's 29, but he looks perfect for Arsenal for me.
I think he's so wary at the moment of. It looks like because what he's like I say that sort of culture, that dressing room. I think he's wary of bringing someone in that's going to just disrupt that. I think that's why I don't think they've gone out so far, whether it's financial or not. I don't think they've got the right person. I don't think he's seen someone that's gone, that person's going to fit in.
About Isak last week.
Which I think he would do. Yeah,
Isak would be good, but why would he go to Arsenal now?
Yeah, from there.
That's a good point now. If you're at Newcastle now, you're looking like they're going like that. Arsenal sort of petering.
Yeah.
If Newcastle were able to spend a little bit more money of what they're sitting on, after having won the trophy, I can't see Isak being an option. Osimhen's the one for me for Arsenal, but listen, I think if you're gonna, you need characters in your team if you're gonna win leagues. So I think they do need a bit more of a senior player, someone with a bit of that to go in. But you can score goals, that's for sure. And the last tie, Dortmund versus Barcelona, Rafinha, top scorer in the Champions League. I remember watching him. Did he get relegated with Leeds? He did, didn't he? He was in that Leeds team, relegated.
Yeah.
And now he's top scorer in the Champions League.
That'd be a good game, that.
Yeah. That'd be a great game.
There's a lot of powerhouses there, isn't there? Some big teams there. Which I actually think it's been a good Champions League. This there's a new format. Was it at the start? I remember listening to the draw on the radio when it all come out, and I was like, "What is going on?" I didn't know what the hell was going on. Like how people were playing each other. I actually think it's been all right. I think it's been all right. I think it's been all right, the change.
Yeah.
Do you know, it's nice in Villa there, isn't it? That name good. There. You already say, Man City, you got Villa there.
Yeah. Bright flags. Go on, the boys.
Yeah, but it is good. It's great to see when you.
It's great to see when you look at it like that. You see massive teams, and you see Aston Villa. That they're buzzing.
Imagine that.
Do you know
what? When was the last time a team that was just complete outsiders won the Champions League? Anyone? I remember Porto doing it in 2004.
That was like complete outsiders.
Complete outsiders. It's not been a while. It's been the big hitters for a long time.
Yeah.
Rashford nicking the winner in the final.
Imagine that. Wow.
You could even go as far as you could. I was going to say Chelsea. 12. Yeah. Napoli. They was lucky to even get there, weren't they? Really? They weren't the best team that year that won it.
Yeah. Do you think they finished fourth though, right? Porto's like Portuguese champions winning it.
Oh, listen, that's that.
Yeah, that is
real. Yeah.
unbelievable.
Was that like 20
That was
years
first
ago?
Chelsea.
Yeah.
We could have played them in the final.
Man, that was 20 years ago.
Mm.
21
But
years ago.
if Villa get to
Someone put it on Instagram yesterday, my goal against Arsenal. I was like, oh, God, it's that long ago.
Or the one at Highbury.
Yeah.
20 years ago.
Mate,
So you put it up.
21 years ago.
wow,
Scary, isn't it? We're old, mate.
we are we are.
Is that why we're finding football boring, Jill? Just because we're old?
Yeah, maybe we're just grumpy. We're really grumpy about football. Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, listen, I still fancy PSG.
PSG to win it. PSG to win it.
Yeah. That's my
You
bet.
reckon to go the whole way?
Yeah.
PSG Munich final, PSG to win. What about you?
Oh. I would go. I don't think you can look past Madrid.
Yeah.
I don't think you can look past them. They just get it done, don't they? But go on, last. I'm going to say Madrid.
Yeah. Bridgie?
Yeah, I think it's PSG or Madrid.
Yeah.
But like part of me wants Villa to win it and Rashford score the winner in the final. Do you know? Because I've just been.
Oh, that was.
Do you know what me with Rashford is all the stuff that's gone on with him. What the manager said is typical time, and the fact that he's gone there and he's got that ability to be one of the best in the world.
Yeah.
Like, but I'm with you. It's PSG or Madrid. But you know, me being me, my heart just would love to see. Like, I'm not a Villa fan, but I think it'd be great for Rashford to nick the winner.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen, like, but you never know.
Mate,
Might
you never know.
manifest it. Harry Kane and Rashford score the winner in
Causing
Chelsea final.
Causing absolute carnage.
Yeah, PSG and Madrid. Madrid just do it, don't they? They got it.
Yeah.
They can win however they want to win sometimes. You look what they did against City.
That club's definitely got something about it, innit? Like
and
they
it's
just
got it.
the amount of times, even with the penalty with Alvarez when he double kicked it.
Yeah.
Like,
I still
Madrid.
ain't seen the double tap. I don't know if people have, but the angles I've seen it,
yeah,
and the fact that that's even got disallowed just blew my mind.
Yeah.
yeah. To be fair, yeah, definitely. Sticking quickly, want to chat about Cristiano Ronaldo.
Oh.
He's 7. I need to get the stat. I've got it here.
70
goals in 72 games in Saudi Arabia. Like
Yeah.
he's 40, nearly 41 years of age.
Yeah.
I mean,
I didn't even know that he scored 70 goals in 72 games. I've only seen probably 3 of them, these goals, but 70 goals.
Yeah.
I know it's in.
I want to make sure I got that stat right.
Yeah, it says it here that 70
Yeah,
goals
you got
in 72 games. His total now in all competitions for Aaron, that's it, is 88 goals.
Well, how far off does that leave him with 1,000 goals? Because he's come out and said
931 he's on.
69 goals to get.
He'll do it.
He'll do it, won't he?
He's a mentality.
He won't stop until he's done it.
No.
Yeah.
He's got that
No.
mentality.
No way. He's doing that.
Yeah, I don't know about. Listen, you got to take your hat off to him, innit? I wonder if he plays for Portugal at the World Cup as a number 9, starting games, because he's banging in goals for Portugal still, isn't he?
I mean, if he's banging goals in,
Yeah,
but then he's like,
you can't take. I don't think you can't take him to the World Cup and sit him down, can you, Ronaldo? That's where the manager will struggle.
but that's
I
not
think
as
if he's
bit.
happy to play a bit part, I think.
I don't
Jonathan-
think he'd ever be happy to play a bit box. I think he'd
Yeah.
always have that mentality that
Yeah, but when
I
you're
could do it.
41,
So do you reckon like his international career, it would just be if I'm not playing on his terms? It would be if I'm not playing, not in a derogatory way. If I'm not playing and I'm not even going to go and
he'd surely still go because in his head he'd probably be thinking,
come
"Oh, come on, I can win this.
yeah.
Every game I could come on, I can win this."
Yeah. And also sometimes, what was it the final last time where did he get injured or
He got injured.
and he was like
And
he was on the line and you can see him sort of
Yeah.
I don't know, is that crossing the line too much though? If you're a coach or a manager, you'd be like, "Oh, Ronnie, sit there, just give me half a yard."
It's true. Like, yeah, but listen, if he's still scoring goals at 41, incredible. Them numbers are ridiculous. But well, Sid, been great to see you.
Always a pleasure, boys.
Yeah.
Always a pleasure. Good to be here.
Yeah. Thanks for listening to The Dressing Room with our Arabiya News.